Hi, I'm Shaul. Today we are going to discuss GAS, or Gear Acquisition Syndrome. What inspired me to raise this issue here is the very recent introduction of the Sony A1 II, which is a camera that encompasses all the new technologies. It represents the state of the art in digital photography, and it is a machine that is capable of doing everything in a very fast, effective way. I would like to suggest that what inspires GAS is the original sin of not knowing exactly what you want, not being specific about what you like shooting, which genres, which conditions you are working in. So basically you want to leave all your options open without committing to any specific type of photography. Once you specialize in a certain genre, your expectations become more specific, and so do your requirements from the gear you use. For example, if you shoot street photography, you would need a smaller camera and smaller lenses, and that would be the very essence of the gear you might choose. Aspects of photography such as continuous autofocus or frame rates, etc., become secondary because they will contribute very little to your experience of photographing in the street and to the results you obtain. However, when you do not know which genre you are going to specialize in, you require everything. An extreme example would be 8K video, which is way above anything you would ever need. But when you do not exactly know what you want to specialize in, you are going to need a lot more. For example, wildlife and sports photography do require high technical capabilities, such as a very high frame rate and high resolution. So your camera becomes a data collecting machine. You just collect more and more photographs at a very high resolution. So you can later edit your photographs and select the ones that are what you intended to shoot initially, and address the composition later by basically being able to crop. In professional high-end wildlife photography, the function of the photographer is diminished a bit. All you have to do is point your camera in the general direction of your subject and start shooting at a high frame rate. So you don't really see exactly what's going on in the scene. You rely on your camera to capture everything. Of course, to be able to do it successfully, you do need the latest technology. And technology is never enough for those purposes. Even a small improvement in frame rates or in subject recognition and autofocus speed would infinitesimally improve your chances of getting the result you are after. The same goes for resolution. The more resolution your camera can offer, the more you can crop and improve your composition, at least potentially. Now, of course, a high resolution requires high resolving power optics. And that means you are always after the latest and the greatest lenses that can resolve those pixel pitches of 4 or 3 microns. Advancements in optics, while small, are still there. The newest lenses are sharper than lenses that were introduced 2 or 3 years ago. So chasing the latest and greatest optics makes sense. Now, the thing is that there are trade-offs to be made. Innovation in sensor and in optical technology has hit a certain wall in the past 5 years. For example, there is a trade-off between speed and dynamic range. Those new stacked sensors that promise a very fast readout and highly capable data collecting and processing require more circuitry around photo sites. And that, of course, increases the heat the sensor works in, and it increases the base noise level. So you cannot recover the shadows as well as in those older, slower sensors. And that diminishes dynamic range. So you have to decide whether you want an enormous processing power or maximum dynamic range. The same goes for the optics. Lenses that have a very high resolving power have to use more than enough ED or low dispersion glass, which diminishes the perception of depth in the resulting photographs. So again, there is a trade-off. You have to choose between pleasing, true-to-life rendition of the photographs and resolution, which will enable you to do more cropping. 10 years ago, you could be sure that if you spent a lot of money, you could really improve the results you were able to obtain in any type of photography. But now it depends. It depends what you like shooting. A monster like the new Sony A1 II will allow you to excel in sports or wildlife or other very fast genres. But it will limit your ability to obtain high dynamic range. For example, in landscape photography, where dynamic range is important. It will also limit your abilities to render nice, pleasing, true-to-life images. If you insist on making the most of the 50 megapixel resolution of that sensor. So you will have to use the latest high resolving power lenses that will diminish the sense of depth and volume in your photographs. Once you are settled on more specific genres, you realize that often what you already have is quite enough. You are able to specify in a more precise way pieces of equipment that are really able to make your results better in your specific type of work. And sometimes when you look at the marketplace in a critical eye, you realize that the landscape is quite barren. For example, I have a certain way I expect my photographs to look, and that depends mostly on the optics rather than on the camera, on the attributes of the sensor. I've been looking for optics or lenses that can give me what I want in a consistent way. So if I expect to achieve certain consistent results at different focal lengths, I know that I need to look for specific primes that would have a special way of portraying the scene. Now, those primes have simpler designs. They do not contain any ED glass, so their resolving power is quite limited. And those primes are not really made these days, except for some special cases. Certainly there are very few lenses that also offer autofocus and seamless communications with the newer mirrorless cameras. So there are really not many options available in the market, not to talk about new options. The limited resolving power world that I live in creates an opportunity for lower resolution sensors, which would maximize the potential for dynamic range and really minimize the requirements for processing power in the camera and for storage space, both locally and in the cloud. So I would gladly buy a camera with, let's say, between 12 and 16 megapixels for my photography. That would be ideal for me. However, in the system I use right now, the minimum resolution on a full-frame sensor is 24 megapixels, which is okay. It's about the borderline pixel pitch that would allow simpler lenses, like the ones I like using, to resolve the whole resolution of the sensor. GAS is driven by numbers. The higher the numbers in the specifications, the more desirable that camera is. The lower the F number, the minimum F number of a lens, the more desirable it is, especially when it comes to zoom lenses. It has nothing to do with the actual usability of the camera, because those numbers are largely nominal. They represent potential, not practical use case. For example, I do not fathom any human application of still shooting of 30 frames per second, or even, I believe it nowadays it goes up to 120 frames per second. The editing, the selection work after the fact would be just daunting. It would be too much to go through all these photographs and choose the best one. Same goes for 8K video. I don't know who might use this crazy resolution in video. The computing power required to edit those files is monstrous. I don't know of any reasonable computer that can handle this type of video editing. To me, even 4K seems a little bit too much. I cannot really tell the difference between 1080p and 4K if you sit at a distance that allows you to view the whole screen. GAS may also be motivated by the collection syndrome. When there is a series of items you really like, you relate to, you start buying items belonging to that series of items. For example, Nikon F-mount f1.4 primes. I believe there are 7 of them which used to be made, and each one was extremely expensive. But once I had four of them, I was strongly motivated to obtain the other three. So I could boast the whole collection. That I would use the longer ones, like the 85 or 105 f1.4 primes. But when you do not have them all, something is missing. So I was able to resist completing that series. But I can really understand what it's like to have a full collection of a series while missing one or two items. It's something that bugs you. There are a few suggestions I could make to combat the gear acquisition syndrome that affects most of us. First, it's a matter of experience, of being happy or unhappy with the results the gear gives you. You have to critically analyze your results and be very clear about which type of item would enable you to obtain better results. I must warn you that mostly what you already have is quite enough. It's too much. If you buy too much, if your gear is over capable compared to your needs, you are in the risk of destruction. A second way of combating gas is a combination of the handicap principle taken from evolutionary science and the rather Buddhistic way of looking at things. And that is realizing that perfection comes when there is nothing else to remove, rather than there is nothing else to add. You should think about it like that. Can you get the results you are seeking with simpler, older gear? Does it really depend on obtaining the latest and greatest items that are available? In most cases, the answer is no. You can easily manage with the gear you already have, or even older, simpler gear. For example, the lenses that I prefer using these days are older, or at least simpler designs that are mostly inexpensive, but they do have a way to portray the scene in the way I like. Take a look at the following series of images taken a few days ago with only 3 lenses. Look how consistent the results are, despite those lenses being made by different manufacturers, representing different technologies or eras in photography. A third way of combating gear acquisition syndrome is being transparent about it, and sharing your gear acquisition dilemmas with your spouse. I'm quite sure that if nothing else helps, this will really put an end to your gas syndrome and make you content with the gear you already have. So that is all for today. Thank you for watching, and see you again soon.